How you doing, Manginas? Tanky Talda here, and today we are revealing more truths about YouTubers. They all confided. Man, I'm really bad with words today. My vocab is really messed up. Like I almost get the words correct, but they're not right in my head. So they told me secrets, and they wanted me not to tell them, but I never pinky promised any of them. So I think it's okay for me to say it legally. Um, and yeah, so they're gonna be mad at me, but that's okay. Because I just like to, because you guys deserve to know the truth about these people. Um, anyways, first guy up is Thunderstruck, and by the way, I've never understood his gamer tag, his name on YouTube. Like, I've never met anybody that's been struck by thunder. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you see the lightning. Like, you shouldn't be like lightning strikes, and all of a sudden you hear the thunder. It's like, oh god, I got fucking nailed by thunder. I don't think I've ever heard that in my life. So, anyways, that's not even the secret. His secret is quite embarrassing, and there's a reason he didn't want me to say anybody. And he's a pro Wii player. He plays games competitively on a pro team on the Wii. So, he told me this, and this is weird. How he told me. He I was just sitting there diddling on the internet, and he called me. I'm like, hey, what's up, Thunder? He's like, hey, man, can you pick me up at the airport? I'm like, you don't live in Iowa. He's like, I'm in Iowa right now, and I'm at the Des Moines airport. Can you come pick me up? And I'm like, okay. He's like, I need to tell you something. So, we went back, and I picked him up, and I took him to his hotel, and he invited me in. He's like, I gotta tell you a secret really quick. It's not gonna take long, then you're free to go. I was like, all right. And he said, well, the thing is, I'm down here for two reasons. And he started to tell me a story, and it was really weird. The same time he was undressing in front of me, he was undressing, and he's telling me a story, and I said, go on. And I think he misunderstood me. I meant with the story, but let's just say he definitely is a competitive Wii player in more ways than one. So he said later he finished not the story. He actually told me the story later on in a restaurant. But while we were at the restaurant, he told me, he's like, well, I didn't come down just to tell you this. I'm actually down here for a tournament. And I'm like, okay. I was like, what's the problem? Like, it's kind of embarrassing that you're a competitive Wii player, but you gotta do what you gotta do. If you're skilled at something, show it off. And he's like, I know, that's what I think. And in my head, I'm laughing at him the whole time. And so he's like, well, the problem is this tournament, there's only 4 teams in it. And our average age of my team, which is compiled of him and 2 other players, and he said, well, we're really good at bowling. Our main thing is bowling that we're best at. He said the other players, though, they're a lot younger. Their average age is 12, and they're really skilled in Mario Party. So he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it in this tournament. Like, there's different fields. Like, one of them is Mario themed. Another one is Call of Duty theme on the Wii. Which, I mean, like, what? Like 5 people probably bought Wii Call of Duty. And then he said there actually is one with Wii Sports. The other one is random. They do some spinning wheel to figure out what other 5 games the Wii has made that they're gonna play. And so he actually lost that tournament. His bowling was fine. He said, he told me he bowled a 285 later on. Obviously, he bowled a 285. His teammates didn't do so well in the bowling category, even though they're actually professional bowlers that are like 50 years old. They didn't do so well. But yeah, so that's his secret. He's a professional Wii player. He's a competitive Wii player. News to me. Didn't even know there was a thing. Didn't even know anybody really bought the Wii. So, or if they did, it's just getting dusty. So, let's move on. We're on iPhone Star for Hire, which, by the way, still confuses me with his name, because I've never seen his prices. Like, do I have to pay hourly for poning? Do I like a contract? Like, I don't understand. I don't know. But anyway, so his thing is kind of weird too. His thing, when he told me this, he kind of was like, that's a thing? Like, it's even a little bit more confusing than the Wii competitive Wii gaming. And he's like, man, I was like, don't tell anybody this because they're gonna hate me for this. And he hates Fridays and loves Mondays. And I'm like, what? 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 Like, I literally couldn't even finish the word what. I was so confused. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. He said, when people say TGIF, I'm a TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. And I'm like, well, first of all, you should honestly get that checked out. That's weird. You probably shouldn't ever say that out loud, especially not in, like, Oakland Raider games, because you'll get the shit beat out of you. So I was like, don't say that at any of that stuff. Don't say Monday's your favorite day. And so I was like, well, how, like, why? Why do you like Mondays and hate Fridays? Like, specifically hate Fridays. It's, like, okay to think it's like a, you know, just like in any other day. He's like, well, I got bad service at TGIF Fridays. And, like, the restaurant, he's like, yeah. Like, they did really bad service. I didn't tip them very well. And ever since then, I just associate that Fridays with every Friday. And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird, considering that Fridays is a restaurant, an establishment, not a day. But he said he went on a Friday, which made a little bit more sense. But by the way, is that restaurant only open on Fridays? Because if it's not, it's really false advertising. But I was like, man, I don't know what's wrong with you. You should, like I said, you should get that checked out, and you should probably think of a different way, like why you don't like Fridays. It has to be a little bit deeper than that. So it actually was. He actually figured out why he disliked Friday. Like, the restaurant didn't help the situation, but it kind of made it, like, self-consciously he ate Fridays and didn't realize it. And the bad service at Fridays, the restaurant, was the thing that kind of brought it out and, you know, brought center of his brain, and he knew he hated Fridays ever since then. And what actually happened was, on this Friday, he was really specific. May 10th, 1994, and May 10th happened to land on a Friday in 94. And what happened was that he realized Santa wasn't real on May 10th, Friday. And the reason that is because he was in his attic. Oh shit, Santa's real. Oh shit. He doesn't think Santa's real. He thinks it's fake. Okay. Oh, I screwed that up. Oh. Anyways, well, hopefully the little kids aren't watching because I cussed. But he went up to his attic and saw, not sarcasm, he didn't see sarcasm. He saw a Santa suit up there, and it was empty. And he looked at it, and there was a price tag on it that still said $50 from JCPenney's. And he's like, no Santa I know would ever shop at JCPenney's. So he's like, he kind of put it two together that this was a fake Santa. And so if Santa's real, Santa Claus is real. Santa Claus is a Macy's fan, not JCPenney's. So yeah, so that was what the real deep meaning was, and why he hates Fridays, even though he can't stand the restaurant. So next up is Sarcasm, who's a big guy into kind of like fashion type stuff, and not really fashion as in like, oh my god, this fashion is so fabulous. He's more of a fashion guy. He likes snapbacks. He likes sneakers. And every time I say sneakers, I really want to say sneakers. You're literally like sneakers. And so, the funny thing about that is that he, okay, and he wears overalls. So I'm just going to say the secret. I'm just going to get it out right now. He wears overalls, and he wears moon boots. If you don't know what moon boots are, just Google image. And and it's like, what a fashion trend. And he, by the way, and under his overalls, under his, fuck, can I speak? Under his overalls, he doesn't wear anything, so his nips are showing. So he nip slips the overalls, whereas he doesn't wear a hat at all. Actually, he actually has long enough hair when at times, and he makes it in a ponytail, and then wears moon boots. And he wears a Livestrong bracelet. It's like, what, are we back in 2002? And so, yeah, so, like, all those photos that he's showing you aren't his on Twitter. When he shows photos of a new snapback, or when he shows a photo of a new sneakers he buys. Those aren't real. Like those aren't his. He literally looked it up on Google and shown it because now he accidentally one time retweeted a snapback, like one of those hats, and somebody on his Twitter was like, "Dude, like you like snapbacks?" And so he didn't want to be embarrassed, and he was like, "Yeah, I love them." So and then this guy advertised it to everybody. So then all the snapback fans and mobs of snapbackers is what they're called. That's like the following: the snapbacks or snapbackers, and sneakerers is the following for sneakers, and not Snickers. I said sneakers. Snickers are fine. Snickers are good. I like Snickers. But anyways, so he he kind of had to live up to this following of people thinking and believing that he was a big snapbacker or a sneakerer. And so ever since then, he tweets out all this stuff. Was like, dude, check out this new snapback, and he just doesn't even wear them. Total lies. So you've been told, you've been outed, sarcasm. So might as well give up the gig. You know, I think it's over for you. To be fair, he does wear expensive overalls, and the buttons, when the buttons right by the nips are gold. So I mean, at least he has a little bit of swag on overalls, if there is such a thing for overalls. But nothing can fix the moon boots. So there you go. There's truths about Thunderstruck, iPhone Star for Hire, and sarcasm. You guys have been outed. Best of luck for your future. Can't trust a hoe. 303 said that to me. That song was about me. So, yeah, stay hairy manginas.